Back at it again, we always are. Except tomorrow. Because tomorrow's Wednesday. But other than that, we almost always are. Kanakusi, I'm glad you understand. What the? Eat. There we go. Eat. World's easiest kill swing god? Bottom hook with the damage boost, it's clearly optimal. Oh, come on, move it much. Wait, does non-4 seriously have a 90-second timeout? Is there ever a world that tried to do this more often? Is there ever a world that tried to play more vertical on this attack? The higher up you are, the more horizontal the bullets are, is worth noting. Maybe I'm smoking with this one, I don't know. I think a little vertical is probably... I think a little vertical, not super vertical, but I think a little bit vertical. That's the wrong attack. Ooh, what a disgusting last wave. What? Good keeper do I have? I have the poop and fartin'. It's a Razer keyboard. I don't actually know the specific type. I don't know the exact name of it. Two in a row? Oop. Let me see. Let me see if I can find the actual name of this one. Razer Sinosa Chroma Full Size. That is the exact name. Boom, there you go. For those who want a visual, that is the world's biggest stretch. Boom, there's an idea. Like when you put an image in, it just explodes it to like the 5th degree. Don't go buying it yourself, especially if you want to play Touhou. It's not necessarily good for Touhou. It's just what I'm used to and comfortable with, so that's why I use it. Are you trying to use you're trying to go online and figure out where every single Razer Synosa keyboard is shipped to, so you can try to figure out where I'm at. Process of elimination. I have had this keyboard for several years. I should probably get a new one at some point. Then it'd be like learning Touhou all over again. On a new keyboard, it'd be unbelievable. Unfocus only. I'm not doing that. The best way to like figure out to determine good keyboards, especially for like say Touhou purpose, is you play and then when you lose, you blame your keyboard. You're like, ah, this keyboard's dog shit, I need a new one. And then you get a new keyboard, and then you play with it, and then like you pay all the everything bad is your keyboard's fault. Essentially, is what I'm trying to say. So you just kind of keep getting new ones. Is that the name of the keyboard? Ooh, wow, that actually fundamentally looks almost the exact same as my keyboard, too. Actually, it looks literally almost identical. Moment of truth, how much is it? $200?! Maybe I'll consider a Christmas present to myself. Although I think the better question is, how clicky is that keyboard? My keyboard's not very clicky. If I get one of those keyboards where I'm hearing every fucking click, 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 clickety, click, 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 I'm gonna blow someone up. I'm gonna do a run. I'm gonna get some water. Be back in a sec. The sound of drunk deer? Come on, I'd rather have like a sober moose. Come on. I'm gonna open this right into the mic, see how it picks up. Okay, it's not good. Well, how clickety-clickety is it, Domingos? That's a second question. This is the most important question of keyboard. And also, any actual tech nerds here, what's the difference between an analog keyboard and a mechanical keyboard? Silent ratio switches. What does that mean, bruh? Look, yeah, good. Twitch dashboard. Why are you like not? Okay, there you go. It was like, let's not be connected to chat here for a second. Whoop! I walked right into it. Any and all issues I have today, I'm going to blame the fact that last night was a long night. I went to bed like a little late, like 20, 30 minutes late, like 20 minutes late. So it's like a little bad, but it's not that bad. And then I lay in bed, I'm just like, I cannot fall asleep. And I woke up in the middle of the night. I go look at the clock, I'm like, there's no way it's 6 o'clock. And I look at the clock, it's 4 o'clock. I'm like, you son of a bitch. Oop. Santos, I'm gonna have to remember to look at that like after stream. Hey, knock off Chinese keyboard. Oh, I see how this is. You're trying to sell Chinese... You're trying to sell CCP propaganda. I see what you're trying to do. Unbelievable. Dude, this is the hardest spell in the entire game? Hello? A75? Well, what about the A74? Is that just worse? What about the B75? Did they change the lettering on that one? You know, great. What do you... Great. It's like, you're just making me have to do fucking... my own research, dude. This is unbelievable. All my information I just need to hear secondhand and be able to believe on the spot. Okay? Trying to, like, actually, like, check something and figure out what that means. It's too much work. Key with 74% keyboard F missing. Well, are we talking about, like... Are we already... That was bad for Faith. Are we already getting rid of, like, the numpad? Right shift? Absolutely right shift, now that you think about it. Hell, even if you keep the even if you keep the numpad, just get rid of right shift. Actually, no. Caps lock. Just get rid of caps lock. Make the left shift button bigger, or the tab button bigger. Get rid of caps lock. Dude, if you got rid of caps lock, I would probably get like every LNN like by the end of the year. AK-70. Cool. So I'll get that one and then complain about it to you how this sucks. I can't believe you recommended it to me. This is why 40% keyboard exists. Hold up. What the fuck? This is crazy. Dude, the space button's so small. Right, I like numpads. I've like always used full-size keyboard. Actually, that's not true. I had a laptop for a while that wasn't a full-size keyboard, but I've like almost always used a full-size keyboard, and I do prefer it. Can I get a 99% one where just the caps lock button is gone? Hmm. The only problem is there's no numpad, so it's unplayable. I not no numpad, no directional input. 40% keyboard. This is baffling. I don't know if it's because it's just trying to pick up audio, so it's like it's like obviously gonna sound louder. But just watching that made me want to commit seppuku. Holy shit! The one advantage of having what where am I? There I am. I guess one of the advantages of having headphones on, it's like there is a little more noise canceling, so it's hard to pick up, but hot damn. Like, I already jerk up the gate on my threshold, the gate on my mic for streaming purposes to try to make it pick up less. Because otherwise it just picks up, like, everything. So in OBS I have to, like, hella jank that gate up. It picks up occasionally, but I can see on the mic occasionally if I'm not talking. Sometimes if I press very aggressively, like it might pick up slightly, but I have my gate turned up so it doesn't pick up every single fucking keyboard input. I'm still paranoid of it picking up too much, and I want to turn the gate up more, but I know I probably shouldn't, because otherwise it'll, like, some of my softer words it won't pick up. He says, yeah, that's the important thing to me, dude. If I click on a video and I'm watching someone play something and I just hear just fucking aggressive key tap. If I hear a fucking mechanical keyboard click-tacking piece of poop, I'm gonna just, I will cause violence. That's why I like this keyboard. It's one of the quietest keyboards I've ever seen. Different people are sensitive to sounds differently. One of the best examples of this is eating. Some people do not like care about the sound of people like eating, really. And sometimes like there's some people who just it's like it flips a switch. One of the reasons why I always try to be very careful. I don't eat on stream. If I ever have am eating something very small to consume calories of some sort, because I need blood sugar on stream, I like always try to mute my mic. And I'm always watching that mic threshold to make sure nothing's picking up if it's unmuted. Now, I will aggressively open, like, a can, like I just did. That was stupid. But... another thing with like how aggressive I am even like pressing the keys. Like there are times in panic situations where I'm flicking around, but I tend to be pretty light on my keys. I feel it's something I like actively think about from time to time, so I'm conscious of how aggressive I am on my keyboard. Maybe that would be the best way to get me to not press the caps lock button if I made that button as loud as humanly possible. To de-incentivize me from clicking. I remember to grab a humidifier later tonight. To put my humidifier on. Goes this like as of this last week, it has been super dry out. Is the season. Fairy, we're so back. I grayed out a couple items. It's Jover. Girl. Minus 10,000 faith, it's Jover. If it's only 380? Actually, only 380 is not even that bad. Like, it's low, but it's not even as low as I was expecting. Nice score? Wait, actually, that means this is the run. Hold up. We're getting scores like that. Whoa, girl. Girl just decides she has to go as low as humanly possible. I'm sorry, as low as yokai-ly possible. Wait, she's a goddess. Does that make... Is she a yokai or is she not a yokai, then? Yeah, I thought about that after I said Yokai Lee. I was like, does that not count then? Because I'm not necessarily the most, you know, yokai is kind of a loose term. Okay, analog versus analog key. The mechanical keyboard acts simply as just an on and off. It's either pressed or not. An analog keyboard determines how pressed it actually. Like an analog keyboard, the keyboard will determine how like heavily you're pressing down on the key. How relevant is that? Theoretically, that should make, I believe that should make, and analog keyboards, I think, are innately quieter, question mark? Trackmania, you're right. When I get out of Touhou and switch over to Trackmania, I'm gonna need to make sure I'm analog. Analog. Well, I looked it up, and the Wooting, which is a fucking weird brand name, I swear, is it's an analog keyboard. Apparently. According to, sources. Act a human! I'm gonna have to message, I'm gonna have to why am I dropping frames? Internet has fallen. Billions must die. The leaf? Why the fuck do you have leaves in keyboards? Shouldn't you be digging them out of your keyboard? Why is my internet still, like, dying? Why am I losing frames? I have 6,000 bitrate. Okay, now the bitrate dropped again. Bitrate? Stable. Nice, okay. It's stable? Question? Nope, it's fucking... No, it's not stable anymore. Stabilize for like... Oh! No, hey, we're back. Oh? Hmm? It's inconsistent. Inconsistent. has the magic taps. Magic taps. That's. I need to go ask Pokemon later to see. I need to ask me, how clicky is your keyboard? And he's gonna say, I've never thought about how clicky it is before. He'd say, that is a thought like that never crossed my mind. Bruh, what is with my internet right now? It has not been this bad in months. Okay, is it rebalancing itself? Question mark. I'm back in the green. I'm back in green. Fuck me. That was. I need to have escaped way earlier than that. Magnetic HE. What does that mean? What is the point of magnetic keyboard? Where are you putting magnets in there? Okay. So they use the magnets to determine how pressed the key is. Faster. What I need to do is I need to see keyboards in person, and then just put my headphones on, and then just start feeling up the keyboards, just start getting frisky all over with them, and see how it is. Bruh, I've done that twice. By twice, I mean like probably like 4 times today. Oh, no early fairy. Oh! Oh! What? Wait, what? How did that laser was angled to the left? How did me going down kill it? Or get myself killed? I'm super runtime. I don't know if I have the rest in my body for that, but we'll try. Also, you're misspelling dying, by the way. It should be D-Y-I-N-G. If you're saying it with it, if you're doing the ing. Because die is D-I-E, but if you're doing dying, it's D-Y-I-N-G. So, actually... How you say, yeah. Early fairy, let's go. Phone wants to put that. The phone only wants to put that because your lousy ass can't be bothered to correctly spell things. So it's like, oh, this is what they want to say. Let's autocorrect to that. Unbelievable kids these days, dude. Like when I fucking look up and I see Alan typing the single letter I and he doesn't fucking capitalize it. Crazy record the key. I didn't, you didn't have to go out of your way to ask him for this. I have to remember to go back to it. Link for it. Let me see if I can forward it into mine. I'm not that familiar with how to do this. I think this is how I can do this. There. The internet, what is wrong with you? Okay, that sounds pretty tame. That sounds pretty damn tame. I just forwarded it to my own Discord. Okay, that it's a it sounds pretty tame. Sounds like I won't have a conniption with him. If I get it and I have a conniption with it, I'm blaming you, Alan. Actually, no, I'll just blame I'll blame Pokemon instead. I'll tell him it's his fault. How this started? You! I didn't return on sound, did I? I turned off. I turned off my second audio source, the non-mic source. The mic, yeah. I also do have to remember that, like, when I'm playing something through a keyboard, like through the headset, it's not necessarily what it sounds like in person because you're hearing the audio directly, where it does get muffled because it's behind my headset. But I turn off my desktop audio so I can listen to the sound and not put it on stream, and I forgot to put the audio back on. Not that I've never ever done that before. Hit the refresh button, people who've been here for, like, more than, like, 2 minutes. All these drop frames, I think, have actually caused it to, like, lag behind, like, another 10, 15 seconds. Because my internet is, like, wonderful today. I will say though, the wooting that does sound. I don't like the name of the keyboard. I will say that though. That is a big downside. The wooting 2 keyboard. Why isn't the she keyboard? Unbelievable, dude. Like, yeah, that's the nature of what happens whenever there's some frame loss. Stream gets slowed down, and for whatever reason, Twitch doesn't like to, like, auto catch you up, so you always have to refresh the page for this. This has always been the case throughout the entirety of Twitch. And it's also not like YouTube does have an advantage where it's like you can just kind of like click the live button and like always catch right back up to the front. It also gives you the easy option of how to like backpedal in the middle of the stream, but God forbid Twitch fucking uses that as the wooting ooh woo. You raise a valid point. What is wooting? I just want to think of the Wu-Tang Clan. Why would you do that to me, Eva? You know, when she doesn't move horizontally at all? Uh-oh, why would I do this to myself? Never mind, it's fine. Remember, always throw a fit over the smallest of things. Nice. Faith manipulation where there was not quite as good. It could back. I saved additional, like, probably 3-4k faith. Maybe up to 5.
You're actually supposed to leave those opening enemies live for longer so you can stall a little bit and make the faith better.
No, I'm not doing that shit. Listen, I learned to min-max faith management a bit in the reasonable sense. Act a human. Thank you for cooperating. Let's grade a little bit of score here. There we go. Look at that grade score, dude. Oh my goodness. Let's try grade a little bit right here. Ooh, look at that. Oh, look, two grade point items, dude. Unbelievable. And I still hit 150. Uh-oh, Binky. For you keyboard ASMR. Wait, what do you mean you wake up in time for some stream? Isn't it like 11 right now? Midnight? Okay, close enough. What are you, a vampire? You just Remy? So I can go to bed at like 4 p.m., wake up at midnight? Don't worry about it. I mean, I'm not really worried about it. More than I am slightly curious about it. Like, I'm more than willing to make fun of people for sleep schedules, but I also understand that, like, sleep schedules are, you know, completely for yourself, and there's literally actually, like, there's no meritable bad or good sleep schedule necessarily in the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. And if you're, like, a fully functioning adult, then, like, you know, as long as you're actually making sure you get your sleep, like, decent enough, like actually getting your hours of sleep, you know, when you sleep doesn't really matter. As long as you're a functioning adult, then that's fine, so there's nothing to judge there. But if I hear wake up at midnight, that also still does raise an exclamation mark to me, right? Like I said, not necessarily in the way of of concern, but more just simple curiosity. Also, the keyboard, some of the keyboard extension happened because I was talking about how, like, maybe I'll get a new keyboard soon, and then some other keyboards were mentioned. And I was talking because the important thing is how fucking loud a keyboard is. Because if your keyboard, if the keyboard's too loud, I will cause violence and I will destroy people. So that's this extended into some other. Recording it. No, that would make me maybe want to fly to your house and beat you up. Although you're asleep when I'm awake and awake when I'm asleep, so maybe I wouldn't actually be able to do that. Or joke's on you, you don't know where I live. You can't send me a keyboard even if you tried. That's a P.O. box? I don't think you know where you live. That's the funny part, Cinnamon. You sure don't. You could try to send you could try to send a pipe bomb to where you think I live. And guess what? Ain't gonna work. Lo and behold, I do not live in Gaylord, Michigan. I do live in Michigan. I've said that much before, but I do not live in Gaylord. That is very infactual. He's leaving. I'm out here quaking in my boots. Oh no, Cinnamon's gonna dock. He's gonna get me, guys. Lakes. That's true. I do live near the Great Lakes. Actually, based on conversation I've made before, you could actually probably determine the town I live in. I'm not going to go. I don't go into details during conversations like this. Yes, there's a place in Lower Michigan. It's kind of like in the dead middle, kind of the northern part of Lower Michigan. That is called Gaylord. It's a relatively small town. But there is a town that is called that. Yes, some people raise some eyebrows at that, but it's just you know how like some names work. You're like, it exists, it's there, it's what it is. You know, it's not where I live, that's for sure. Oh, I had to move back to the middle too. That's it. I've driven through there once or twice because, well, not once or twice, a handful of times. Just because it's like located in a very centralized location. So if you're driving north to south or south to north, you'll kind of go through there. But that's about it. Which flag that message? Did it really? Because it doesn't. Because normally, whenever a message gets flagged, it pops up. I think I actually like whitelisted. I'm pretty sure I actually went out of my way and said that if anyone says Gaylord, it's fine, like the auto mod, because it's a town. Because Cinnamon would get flagged for saying it every time he'd bring it up, so I went out of my way to change it. Toggle on me. Well, it knows you're a suspicious individual, so it keeps a closer look on you. Like, it knows Spooter's clean. Like, all she's gonna do is talk about, like, Yuka or something, usually, so... It's like, this is fine. But Cinnamon, it knows you. So, yeah, like I said, I think I... Buying Citizen. Are you? Here's the thing, I live, I can make it to one of the Great Lakes in less than 10 minutes from my house, so I sure as hell don't live in Gaylord, because that is too far away from any of the Great Lakes. Name one law you broken. How about the law of capitalization? My name is Cinnamon, yet I see no capital letters in your name. Hello? Dude, safe. What do you mean fallen so far? You used to be an unsafe user? I gotta sneeze. Oh, got it. Did not let you put capitals in it. I don't believe you. Who's got capitals in their name? Spooter. Who's got capitals in their name? Me. Pretty sure. You know who's got capitals in the name? Alan. You know who doesn't? You. I'm just saying, what's the common denominator here, huh? Kageyama? Boom. Look at that. That's a capital letter. Now you mentioned, I'm pretty sure Twitch... I look at the crowd. I'm pretty sure Twitch used to, like, not have that, and then they added that. But I'm pretty sure you can go in and change your display name. And that's what I did, because I remember it used to be, now that I think about it, it used to be just Alfonso, but it was all lowercase. But I think the AmiCon they have having in Detroit, UmaCon, whatever it's called. No, I do not live remotely near Detroit. Second of all, I have never been to a convention. And I don't have... I will say I'm not, like, the most interested in such a thing. That's for sure. Well, that's just because you're such a boomer, Cinnamon. Honestly. Cinnamon's so old, dude. He's such a boomer. No wonder why he can't get any LNNs. LOL. When did I even make my Twitch account? That's a very good question, now that I think about it. This is 2015. We get it, Alan. Let's bring you back to the retirement home. Actually, that's what happened. Alan used to be one of the greatest LNNers on the market, and then he died to retirement in PCB, and then he had to retire. It was just the rules, and now he's in the retirement home. Early morning? I don't know what an early morning is at this point, because for Spooter it's like midnight, so, you know, it could be anything for all I know. But hello, Toaster. Back in my day, yeah, these youngins fucking suck. They have to get hand-holding with their suppress. See, we used to raw dog everything. Oh yeah, Slay. People live in the same time zone? That's crazy. There's only 24 different time zones. Actually, I think there's like 25 different time zones. Isn't there like that one time? Isn't there a time zone in Australia that's fucking like half hour off or some shit? I feel like I remember hearing about something like this at one point. You know, was that some alternate Thrack like esque thing? Oop. Save state, so we can do that in PC 98. I gotta pee and then I'll Robert tomorrow. Be back. Al, did you say cheating? Are you saying that your LNNs were cheated? This was a fake shot. So true. So anyway, in completely unrelated news. Play a real game. You talking about me? Yuka? I could tell you it's Yuka. Yes, me. What's your definition of a real game that is not LOL-K? You cannot answer LOL-K. Can you phone a friend? You can phone Alan if you need to. I will allow that. Your options are phone a friend, Alan. Your other options are 50-50 or audience poll. So oops, I raid all of those, and I also grabbed those early. Yeah, Spooter is a well-known Yuka enjoyer. And Toaster is the well-known Yuko enjoyer. And Eleven's the well-known Tenchi enjoyer. Kageyama is a well-known Hina enjoyer. Alan is also a Hina enjoyer. What they add to. Anyway, I'm gonna pivot conversations in a complete different direction here. So, a week from Friday, we got Halloween coming up, right? Best Touhou roommate. Good question. And we got Halloween coming up, and I always hang out with my friends and stuff on Halloween. We always dress up and do stuff. And this year, I'm going full on. I got a full on Miku outfit. I'm going. If you're lucky enough, I'll get a picture of myself and put it in Discord with it. If you're lucky enough. I'll have to ban Sinden first. But I'll also mention, because I was trying it on. I was trying different parts. I didn't, like, put on everything all at once, but I was trying different parts of it. And I realized, as someone who, every waking hour, except when I'm doing laundry, I'm wearing jeans at, like, all times. Going from that to wearing a skirt and, like, thigh highs is a completely different experience. I can see it now. I'm not gonna be a regular wearer of that. I assure you that much. Like, if I'm doing laundry, I'm wearing shorts, but otherwise, like, every other hour, like, the year, I'm wearing jeans. But stimulate from clothing. What does that mean? Like wearing too much or like too much clothing could stress you out or something? Have a good touch. And then yeah, no miss, no bomb toast. Yeah, that's what that stands for. But I also had an issue, Scooter, where I shop and I'm trying to like get this stuff out, and I'm like, how do I translate to women's sizing? I guess that's fair. That can be fair. That's right. Yeah, like that was one thing I've had to because like everywhere I look, it's like, oh, here's Miku outfit, women's sizing. I'm like, I've never gone shopping in women's sizings. That may be hard to believe, I know. How hard would an LNN be? Yeah, one thing I've realized when it comes down to the measurement game with this stuff is I'm pretty skinny, and by pretty skinny I mean I'm quite skinny. So I fit into things, my waist fits into things pretty well. But I have broad shoulders. So if I'm not careful, the top of something can suffocate me. Like, this is why specifically for the Miku outfit, I have, like, almost every part in, like, one sizing, but, like, the shirt I actually have in a sizing up. Because, oh boy, if you go that if you go the same sizing as everything else, it's just so tight on my chest. Down below to my stomach and my waist, it's fine, but like my shoulders, I feel like oftentimes, depending on like exactly the material, like I feel like if I like flex too much, it's gonna like rip. I'm gonna like JoJo it and just like rip it off. You don't have to move down, Hina. Anyone else hate it when Hina goes down on them? So me, Brett. I'm just what are you cat reacting me for? I'm just stating what happened. Hina went down. There's me there, so like someone argued she went down on me, and I don't like what she does that personally. Nice. See what times there? Yeah, you spend all your time with Akadi and Ringo. Living in the gutter. I'll hit you up if I need you. I don't know how much gutter necessities I need, but the exile doll move down, dude. That'd be so great, dude. Divine virtues, but Hanako moves. Interesting choice. Well, the reason I said those two because I'm like, okay, I know you've grinded your Hikadia attacks plenty, so I know you've put your time into Hikadia, and if you actually are like doing lunatic run or lunatic practice or runs, like Ringo is something that you will commonly find people struggling with. Oh, move, yeah. All effect keyboard. Now someone's just making up words. Oh, okay, we're fine. She gave me a wide open window. RBG. Isn't it normally said RGB, not RBG? Isn't that like a type of game, but like you replace the B with the P with the B? Yes, yeah, unbelievable. We can't be having typos here. This is a sophisticated stream only. For RGB. I have it on my keyboard. I mean, my keyboard has it, but what I just do is I just set it to a solid. I don't have it as like all colors. I don't do like the cycling effect. I just had it like a static like dark purple, and I like dim the color down to like to a lower brightness. I can do those where it's like I can definitely play on those keyboards. I've done it before, but I like a partial brightness, solid dark purple. Very appealing and easy to the eyes. Gamer, I should tell you about my dad. He's played some Fortnite with like my cousin before. And the other thing he does is he plays a lot of Pokemon Go. Oh, buddy, I swiggled around there, too. Died to that, by the way. 50 set, prove it. Well, books, witchcraft, and zombies. Dread set going on. I should clarify this right here. If I ever say 50 set right now, I'm saying it incredibly ironically and sarcastically. Unless Cinnamon's involved and it's entirely serious. Otherwise, it's completely sarcastic. Even rage bait. Literally 1984. All that matters. Have you ever tried to do supervillain strats? Doesn't matter that much. I kind of agree, but I think it does matter. It can matter a lot. It kind of depends on actually, like, what your approach to rain is. Where are you starting on rain? Because I've seen people start all over the place and do different routes for it. Right top? Okay, that's sacrilegious, dude. You always start either left or middle. Middle, yeah, the middle where you start like right here, you go to the left, and then you go down, and then you go right. It's kind of got that early restream. It's really fascinating. Pammy taught me that one. Or taught me all of that one, I should say. Where you start like top middle, you go left, and then you go down, then you go to the right, and then you don't have to do a cut back on the very bottom. Because doing a weird like reverse C shape on the left is kind of better there. Something, yeah, dude. I really struggle, like, sometimes after the 102nd attempt of an attack in a row, dude. Really starts to get to you. So, are you talking about me or talking about Alan? So if you're talking about Alan, I'll absolutely agree with you. For once. Agreeing with Cinnamon feels wrong. I'm gonna have to shower after this. I know I showered right before stream, but maybe I have to shower afterwards. That is a paragraph. I'm gonna have to take a second to actually comprehend that. Oop. I wouldn't say my reading skills are great today, you know. Yeah, so it is very dependent on the attack in the moment. There's really two main aspects to this. There's one that I always call the peripheral vision. And a lot of my movement is predicated on peripheral vision at times, where I'm looking at one thing, like I'm focusing on one thing, but I'm kind of like doing movement based on not where I'm primarily focusing my eyes on, so I'm kind of playing with my peripherals at a given time. And one of the big things about that is that really comes with experience and getting comfortable with your character's movement and being able to understand where you are, even without directly looking at your character. That's one thing you do tend to rarely do, although you do occasionally, is like look at your character. You're usually looking past your character at what's coming next. Usually, not always, but usually. So acting with your peripherals is... And in terms of, like, what I'm reading on attacks, it's less about, like, the percentage of the screen I'm reading, and it's a lot more about trying to understand the, trying to break down, like, one thing I try to do, especially with some of the harder attacks, I did this with Divine Virtues in this game, which is definitely one of the easier attacks to do this. It's a hard attack, but it's easier to break down, is to break down the attack and, like, try to do your best to understand what the attack is doing, and then to figure out where the threats are, to be able to focus, hey, you know, I can do this on, like, Pet of Flare, and UNR, and Subterranean Animism, which is... like, there's a lot of bullets, and, like, a lot of the bullets can kill you, but there's always, like, the part of the attack that is the most fatal. There's, like, one part of the attack that is the big part of the attack, and that's generally where you try to focus your primary attention to. And that often comes down to having a lot of experience with the attack, and being able to break down the attack to figure out, hey, what's the problem with it? And then dancing from time to time to figure out, like, okay, my eyes are here, and then they're moving here, and then they're moving here, da 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 da. Because realistically, you're never reacting to everything in the moment. Like, you will react to things often, but, like, you have to read ahead of time in Touhou. You're not capping PDH solely based on reaction time. It's like, oftentimes, you have what you're trying to look for. You have your game plan ahead of time. You have where your primary focus is aimed towards, and then your peripheral, as I usually say it. People use other terms for it. Oh no, Cinnamon said he disagrees. It's Joker. I'm sorry, it's Minori Tover. I'm gonna say here, and with zero self-confidence in my opinions, and take them back immediately because someone that they disagree with a very broad and kind of ambiguous take. Because reaction speed is important, but the thing is, you're never looking at it. Like, even on attacks like spam, you're not looking directly at your character. At least you probably shouldn't be. Which are some of the most random and reaction-based attacks. You're still trying to look ahead to find, hey, where's my open gap? Where's my open seam? Something like PDH, I'm not the most PDH doer on the market, but, like, oftentimes, like I'm talking like wave 3 on. You know, you're probably prioritizing your views sort of towards, hey, I'm looking at the blue ring. and I'm trying to line up the blue ring, and then you're glancing to like the other bullets in the nearby. So you're focusing on one part, and then you're using your secondary vision to help you with like the other parts. It's also really important on attacks with a lot of bullets, especially bullets coming from different direction, because you're not like, you can't just scan the entire field with your eyes and read everything on the spot like that. That's just not like how humans work. You can get better at doing similar things to that, but not need for high level goals. Yeah, it's you will get better at being able to react and play the moment the more and more you play Touhou and you do this type of thing. But I think there's a lot more going on in attacks that meets the eye to people who are not experienced enough in the regard to be able to pick out what your plan is on attacks. Like, generally this attack... Oh, no, I should... Like, this attack, there's a very specific, like, line I'm looking for almost every time. Partially because it's fairly static breakdown. There's a very consistent line that you can aim for, so I'm just kind of, like, looking for that specifically every time. This attack, really, my primary focus is the purple bullets here. Everything else, I'm generally working with my peripherals. But also, a lot of attacks, you know, the unfortunate reality is a lot of attacks have a lot of randomness to it, so where you're playing your eyes to, even if you have a kind of a general idea, it's going to vary a lot depending on what the current circumstances are. Oh, I actually might have had that line if I didn't tap back to the left. Unfortunately, the best answer would be to go by attack basis to break down exactly what I'm trying to look for and exactly what my plan is, right? Like Moses? Yeah, Moses, like, I'm spending most of my time, like, I glance to the lasers on the side to figure out, like, when I'm needing to, like, when I should try to aim for cutbacks. And then I'm looking at, like, right out of her her spread legs to figure out like where the shots, the angle they're coming at from there. While something like Exile Doll is a lot lower. Yeah, some of it's based on immediate threat, but also like I would argue on something like Moses' Miracle. Like, oops, I keep picking up Faith early. Like, the moment she shoots, there's nothing else below. There's no curvy bullets down below. There's nothing that's, like, coming from some side angles that's gonna really be a problem. It's, like, it's really straightforward, like, what the lines are, right? Something like Exile Doll, you have to worry about those sideways bullets. So you can't... It's a lot harder to, like, read everything perfectly from ahead of time when you have so much, like, crisscrossing going on near the bottom that you're not going to be able to, like, predict all of that ahead of time. You can't look to where she's shooting out and read every bullet to see all that weird crisscross shenanigans. What do I look like? Someone who fights Yatuhashi? Come on, I played Reidu A when I played BBC. Hey, I like rambling. Stream. Yeah, rule of thumb in this chat, by the way, is if you see Alan talking, you should take him at his word for it. He's generally pretty smart. If you see Cinnamon, you do the opposite. Unless Alan is talking about some attack one-handed, no focus, blindfolded timeout, then don't listen to him. But like otherwise, he's generally a pretty reliable source. Like, as much as I get on Cinnamon, I do have to feel bad for him at times with how much Alan tries to just put up, like, just give it to him sometimes. Like, have you ever tried to do this attack, you know, no focus, blindfolded, one hand, backwards, bottom hug only, no horizontal movements, with an eye patch, well blindfolded as well, with electric shocks going through your body at all times? Off the LNN. I mean, it's a harder run, but it makes learning some things a little simpler. Like, I've mentioned this a few times. I've learned to see this a bit. There is merit to practicing things, like, not necessarily, like, doing a whole route with it, but, like, there's merit to practicing things bottom hug only. Especially if you're not super comfortable. Like, if the attack can allow for it at times. But I think there's merit to it, because it can get you a lot more comfortable. Because oftentimes, especially if you're allowing yourself to do everything and you're not really experienced, it can be really overwhelming. A lot of attacks can just be super overwhelming. But if you limit yourself to bottom hug, even if it's for like early on practice, it can make it a lot like simpler to like, hey, this is what you're trying to pick up, this is what you're trying to read into. So it restricts you, so in a sense it makes it harder, but it also makes like your job a bit easier almost. So I think there's some merit to like practicing bottom hug only on some things. Like, I've noticed a number of attacks where, like, me bottom hugging, like, I do that a little bit, and I just feel like I just see something that I, like, wouldn't quite see before. I feel almost like I have a breakthrough, even if I'm not, like, pure bottom hugging. I know it's kind of exception, because I almost exclusively bottom hug on it nowadays, but, like, Exile Doll, I'm just saying. It's one of those attacks that I just kind of, like, on a whim, I was like, what if I just bottom hug this? Like, reduction, yeah. It's kind of an issue I see at times, and, like, I mean, I have this too, but, like, there's so much going on that can be overwhelming, and you often, like, panic your way into things. You just kind of end up like, whoopsie-woo, and run into things on your own. Right? You yourself are your own worst enemy at times. Such as today when I'm acting on limited sleep. Yippee! Never. Everything bad that happens today is blamed entirely on that. Which is partly my fault. It's not entirely my fault. In fact, I'd only say it's a little bit my fault. So, I get to blame the world. Actually, the fact I don't have an LNN yet, in all honesty, it's just Zoon's fault, dude. Like, honestly. Why do you make some parts of this game the way you did, honestly? Like, it's not even my fault. It's Zoon's fault. It's not my fault for not playing well enough. It's his fault for making the ceiling too high. On this self-imposed challenge. And actually, when you think about it, it's probably not is even Zoon. It's probably the alcohol that he drinks. So if you really think about it, the core issue of all my problems in this game is just alcohol. So I think we need to ban alcohol across the world. Because when America tried to do the prohibition, that really worked well, right, guys? There's one thing I've learned in life. One thing that COVID actually taught me is that working in the industry where you deliver beer, as much as some things shut down in COVID and things became a problem, no matter what, you're never going to stop people. You're never going to be able to stop people from drinking. You can do whatever you want, but like, the moment you touch their alcohol, ooh, buddy, you're never taking their alcohol away from them. Act a human. There's bombers peak in video games. What does that mean? I'm not familiar with that term. Or whatever that's supposed to reference. So 21's gonna be so true. I hate this attack. I hate this attack, too, because you get in the lane, and if you're not, like, directly below her, you just have to sit there for, like, 2 seconds and just think about how you're not dealing optimal damage, so you're probably gonna have to live another wave. Oh yeah, this is my last run of the day. I'm not gonna push it any further. It's been 2 hours. Uh-oh. It's fine. I really gotta pee. Wait, how the fuck does bottom hug on this attack work? Routable, you think? Is that your just ambiguous answer to, like, every attack? Where it's like, man, this attack's really hard. It's like, it's actually routable, I think. It makes you seem smart. It makes it seem like the other person's stupid. Because for not realizing it. It's like, it's like, oh, there's the option to put it, but you have to put in the effort to route it. And, like, if it's not actually routable, it's not my fault, because I just said I think. Well, it could be routable. alcohol, your performance gradually drops to a point where it temporarily jumps to a peak, then dives again. What you're telling me is that you should do nothing but drink alcohol to try to find what alcohol threshold you're at when you reach that peak performance, and then just keep getting to that? You haven't read it privately yet? No. Structure seems promising. Guys, I think PDH actually, like, the PDH, the structure of it, like, there's some consistency. I think it's promising. Like, I think it might actually be routable, I think. I think that is actually important. I'll take your word for it. The only video games I've ever played with any alcohol in me are, like, racing games. So, like, Mario Kart and Genso Skydrift. Whoa there, girl. Also, hello, Stage 4? Holy crap, we actually made it. Stage of hopes and dreams and death. A lot of death. It's not very promising. No. I said it's very promising, though. Are you trying to say I'm a liar? Alan, is that what you're trying to... Are you trying to say I'm a liar? Once again, toxicity in the Touhou. Seeing nothing new here. Oh, fuck me! How did that fucking work, dude? Holy shit. I'm so cool. I can't wait to die to something else. Problem is, I want to do a very subtle, like, micro on the first wave and let it be fine. And then the trap was just... Momiji set the trap. I had to panic my way out of there. And I was just playing on, like, on a razor's edge. I was just edging the entire rest of the time. Could you, like... I moved a little too much there. I do really hate it on attacks like that Momiji one there, when, like, the really, like, hard and, like, sick play I make is actually at the very beginning. Because then, if I don't cap it, then I can't really, like, feel excited about it. So it's like, I have to cap the attack, and then I can actually, like, pop off a bit about it. And I mean, I kind of agree, but also, like, Aya brings a lot of pain and suffering. So, like, I'm a little hit or miss at times with that. I'm panicking. Whoa! Shoddy! What the fuck was that? Whoa! Sorry, that was a little loud. Oh, there. I'm gambling with the devil this run. I expect you to die there. I expected me to die there. I still have to pee, by the way. Fuck me. hate this final. But I love you, Aya. You know that, right? Good Aya. That was a fucking... You know it's bad when Peerless Wind Guy wasn't the hardest part of Aya. Hate you. Remember, no matter what happens from here, even if I lose, even if I die, whenever I die, getting here is always a very, very, very lovely thing. Something I've only done a single-digit number of times. Yeah, I've started to learn in runs. It's not about the end result of the run. It's not about how low of a miss you get. It's about the pace. Pace is arguably the most important thing in the run. At least in LNN regards, in my opinion. At least once you get far enough in your gameplay. Okay, Sanai. Show me some good movement here. Okay, that's pretty good. Should be. Do I keep going for the wrong gap? No, it's perfectly fine. Fourth best run to date. Right first, you little dum-dum. Whoa. Watch what you're doing here, Fairy. I still kind of have to pee. Okay. Well, games like LoL K that have such a brutal early game, it's also really hard to get those paces. So like, you know, there comes a point where it's like, especially like in this game where, you know, nowadays I'm all about like, oh, what's my LNN pace? But there's a point where it's like, hey, you know, what's important to me is my 2 miss pace or what's my 1 miss pace, right? Never underestimate this attack or any other attack for that matter. Third best pace to date. You don't make you play much better? No, that's not true. Distracting myself and letting me dwell on the pressure will only make me be worse. Oh, buddy, I played that way too wide there. Woof. I really wanted to force the rush to the right, but, you know, the wave was just so wide. I just need to have played inside and gone right in the next wave. Aya yet? No, that was Sinai, not Aya. For once. Actually, twice. Lots of difficulty. I mean, it's generally put in the above average category for a reason, right? Like, I do think people underestimate it a little bit. Like, obviously everyone that in the competitive scene, or the high-level scene, I should say, like, everyone looks at Peerless... Everyone can look at Peerless Wind God and say, oh, it's Peerless Wind God, right? So, like, everyone can look at Peerless Wind God, and, like, also people will look at, like, Divine Virtues also should get a look at, but, like, there's so much... First of all, the early game is a pain in the dickens. But there's so much, like, scattered throughout as well that, like... You know, it doesn't stand... It's no Peerless Wind God, right? It doesn't stand out in that way. Good game. I also feel like people's 1cc experiences can kind of shift their opinions on games. And Moth is definitely not one of the hardest 1cc's in my eyes, at the bare minimum. So I feel like that can also skew people's opinions a little bit. But, like, this fairy right here? This fairy sucks! I haven't died to this fairy on pace, but, like, this fairy is awful, bro! Like, if someone were to, like, show up to me and be like, oh, it'd be like, oh, I died to that on pace. It's fucking dog. That fairy's dog shit. That would be the hardest. Yeah, and I mean, there's credit to that. UFO's really hard, but... This non! Conoco Non 1 is miserable. Easiest attack in the fucking game, dude. Never even worried. Not this attack. This attack's fine. This attack's a little cringe, in my opinion. But that's me personally. That's always why I always try to say that, like, everything's lethal, especially on pace. Everything's lethal, because... I feel like a lot of people tend to, overvalue the, ooh, shoddy? I don't like that. People tend to often overplace or underplay some attacks, I should say. And I think that ends with people kind of like almost underestimating them and feeling a lot worse when they die to them. I didn't kiss her. Okay, I got kiss her on wave 4. Hold up. I'm actually throwing, dude. A miss is one miss. I would not be this lighthearted and cheery if it was it was the LNN phase. Although I have been known to talk on LNN on paces and stuff, but I would be a little more. Yeesh. It's not yet. No, it was Moses. Okay, I got to the Book of Exodus and then he crossed me up, dude. He threw his staff on the ground, turned into a snake, and it bit me. And then he came down from that mountain and saw his brother was with the rest of the people making golden calves, and then he threw it on the ground and broke it. I think the structured nature of this attack, too, kind of makes people almost underestimate it at times. Sick-ass Kaneko. Oh, it's not that hard of a Divine Virtue, but still, pretty sick Kaneko. Nice one miss. That was barely thick. I really want to make some jokes to that comment. Normal no delay. No, was that the normal no delay or was that the easy no delay? I don't actually remember. Hey, another one miss, boys. That's my third one miss? My best paced one miss, I think. What's my other one misses to? One of them was to Peerless Wind God, I think. I don't remember what the third one was. Where's my saves at? Why did it go year, month, day? Bruh, what is this? Move short, perfect. It's not, that's not the best way to look at it, though, because that Kaneko was pretty good, and there's still a bit of pressure on it, but that Kaneko is a lot. Is better. Ah, yes, I'd like to refer to today's date as 2025 fucking October 21st. Month, day, year? You're just delusional, dude. Month, day, year is clearly the fucking way. You don't go, oh, this is the 22nd or 21st of October. Unbelievable, dude. You Europeans. Don't get me started on the fucking first floor. Just take a breather before I move on. I'm not doing another run. That was a good way to end it. What do you mean ants? What does that mean? Where's that come from? What's the difference between that and a different keyboard layout? Yeah, you generally when I hear about like keyboard layout, I hear like QWERTY. Like that's like the term I use. It's like, oh, is it a QWERTY keyboard? Haven't. They're just making up words, dude. It's unbelievable. Okay, so have a good one, Alan. Thanks for being as toxic as ever. That's why I like you. It's okay. I sign paperwork all the time, and at work, because like whenever I get in semis full of product, beer or soda or pop, depending on what you want to refer to it as, I always sign it with the last 2 digits of a year. man. See ya, Cinnamon. UBS talk. You keep your toxicity going too. You wouldn't be the same without it.